Oh, it's a feel-good Friday. Tim Legler, Stephen A's all by himself. I'm just sitting right next to him.
I didn't mean it that way. I'm so sorry, Pink Panther. I'm so sorry. I'll get over it.
Legs, good to see you. Already warmed up on Get Up. Herm Edwards is going to be stopping by, and Bart Scott will be with us in a moment. We'll get into some football. Guys, talk a little NBA, shall we?
Let's do it.
Kevin Durant. Very emotional during his Phoenix Suns introductory press conference, fighting back tears as he discussed his former Brooklyn Nets teammates. The 13-time All-Star was asked about his time in Brooklyn in front of fans at the Footprint Center in Phoenix on Thursday. KD, talk to me.
We just didn't get on the court enough. I think when you seen James, Kyrie, and myself, it was amazing basketball for 17 games, though. But you need, in order for you to win a championship and be a great team, you just need more time on the floor. It was a lot of ups and downs, but I love the grind. So, and everybody in Brooklyn loved the grind too. So I built a family over there. They're gonna always be a part of my journey. So we didn't accomplish what we wanted to accomplish as far as winning the championship, just like I told him, but I enjoy the grind. And everybody there, we tried our hardest every day, regardless of what was going on in the media, what was going on with our teammates. Everybody who was in that gym, we grinded. So I love those guys. I get emotional to talk about them because that was a special 4 years of my career, coming off of Achilles, and they helped me through a lot. So I wish them the best going forward. They got a bright future.
Obviously, we know Kevin Durant's one of the best to play his game, but we can see his heart there. Obviously, Stephen A., and how much it meant to him. Tell me this, when we look back at the Nets, who's the biggest loser in the big three in that whole failure?
Well, for me, it's two. It's Kevin Durant, and it's the fans in the borough of Brooklyn, New York. Because as he pointed out, him, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving only played about 17 games together. Him and Kyrie Irving didn't even play 100 games together. And when you look at it from that perspective, the borough of Brooklyn never got what it deserved. Kevin Durant, the basketball player, never cheats any of us. Legs, I think when Kevin Durant is healthy, he's the best on the planet. Did what it deserved. Kevin Durant, the basketball player, never cheats any of us. Legs, I think when Kevin Durant is healthy, he's the best on the planet. There isn't a single player in the NBA. I know that that's up for debate. Please don't get me wrong. But with his offensive repertoire and his underrated defense, there is not a player in the world that I want more than Kevin Durant, who is 100% healthy. Not one player do I want more than Kevin Durant. He never cheats you. He goes out on the court. When he's out, he is legitimately injured. He ain't missing games on purpose. That's not who he is. So he never cheats us as a ball player. Where you can feel cheated is that when you're that great, you have the cachet to hold those around you accountable. You have the cachet to say, this is the environment that I want to be in. I'm a two-time champion and a two-time NBA Finals MVP. I kind of have an idea what it takes to get it done. And we're not getting it done. We're not all in the way that we should be. And when he said what he said, we grinded. When we were on the court together, we grinded. We grinded in practice and all of that other stuff. Kevin Durant knows what results are all about. He's achieved the highest results. He's a scoring champion. He's a two-time, NBA champion and a two-time NBA Finals MVP. He's a surefire, absolute first ballot Hall of Famer. He knows what the hell it takes. And not only that, he has the basketball character that people will easily trust in order to invoke whatever beliefs he has about how to get things done in order to do that. And that's not something he always did. I think it was Bruce Brown that talked smack before they played Boston last year, and I'll end it with this, Legs. Before they played Boston last year and got swept, Bruce Brown started off talking before the series began, basically talking about how we want these dudes. They made for us. We believe we could take them. And Kevin Durant followed and instantly checked Bruce Brown to the media contingent. saying, just shut up and play. We don't need to be saying stuff like that. That's not what you do. Kevin Durant did it then. When did he ever do it as it pertained to Kyrie Irving? The answer was never, not once publicly, not once. And so to me, that kind of personality that he had when he addressed Bruce Brown prior to the Boston Celtics series is the Kevin Durant Brooklyn should have seen from the moment he arrived. But that wasn't the case because he followed someone else to Brooklyn instead of getting them to follow him. And as a result, Brooklyn was shortchanged. So to me, the biggest losers in all of this is Brooklyn, who was shortchanged, and Kevin Durant, not the player Kevin Durant, but the man that is Kevin Durant, who's a good brother, no question about it. I just feel that he had the cachet to hold others accountable, to have a more basketball conducive environment. And he came up short in that regard, and that's why I have him and the fans in Brooklyn as the biggest losers.
Well, Stephen A., I love your answer about the fans in particular, okay? And so I'm going to go in a different direction because I think that really is who ultimately always suffers in these situations, right? When you underachieve as a group, when guys get hurt, when guys don't play, when you just don't fulfill your potential, ultimately it is the fans because of how much it means to them. And when they put that team together, those fans expected a minimum of one championship, maybe two or three by the time we're sitting here now. So I love that part of your answer. But here's why I don't think Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, ultimately, either one of those guys are the biggest losers. Okay? I'm going to go in a different direction. Let's start with James Harden. Here's why I say that. At the end of the day, Kevin Durant has 2 rings. And these guys on this level, these are transcendent players. At the end of the day, they're going to be judged on their resume about whether they have rings. Like I was a role player. That's like 75, 80, 90% of the league, role players. You know what? At the end of the day, no one cares if I got a ring or not except my family, right? But these guys wear a different burden. They have to have rings to account for by the time it's all said and done. Kevin Durant's got 2 and ended up in a place where he's going to have a great chance to win more in Phoenix. So even though you can say, hey, responsibility's his, and it was a failure, and Kevin Durant has to obviously, take that into account on his own record, he's going to have more chances to win championships. Kyrie Irving has a championship and played great when the lights were brightest and pulling off that upset against Golden State that year with LeBron James. So he's a champion. And he's obviously a guy that gets restless pretty easily and dissatisfied. So now he's moved on to a new place. And I don't think he's going to lose sleep over what happened in Brooklyn. James Harden, this was his best chance to get one. He didn't get one in Houston. It didn't happen in Brooklyn. It probably is not going to happen in Philly, at least not this year. When you look at Milwaukee and Boston, I don't think anybody's going to pick Philadelphia to win a championship this year. So this could go down as James Harden's best opportunity to add that to his resume, and he was not able to do it. And then the other guy I look at is Steve Nash. And a lot of people think, hey, man, this was the wrong person for the job. 3 very complex personalities, a team expected to win immediately, no coaching experience. I hear all of that. But look, if those guys played and they found chemistry and Kyrie was bought in and they stayed healthy, very good chance they would have won championships, even with Steve Nash having no experience. Because he's a brilliant basketball mind and he would have got better on the job. Unfortunately, it flamed out. He was out. He might never coach in this league again. Who knows what his resume would have looked like if all those things had happened in Brooklyn and what that would mean for his future going forward as a coach. Instead, he's basically chased out of the profession, and it might have left such a bad taste in his mouth. Maybe he won't want to coach again. So I think James Harden and Steve Nash, with what they had an opportunity to do, Harden for his legacy, Steve Nash for his future in coaching, neither one of those things got to happen. But KD and Kyrie have rings and could have opportunities in the future to get more.
Very compelling arguments, but